Hey guys, welcome back to The Single Chef. I'm Matt Skollar. I'm your classic single guy with the classic single guy's fridge and ingredients. The difference is I know how to use these items simply and quickly to create a tasty meal you can't mess up. That's right. Now, so good that even a beautiful woman will be impressed. But if you can't take my word for it, you cannot take our lovely Lily's word for it. Right, Lily?
That's right, Matt. I'm going to try that food and tell it like it is.
Excellent.
So what are you going to cook tonight?
Tonight, guys, I'm doing beef curry. I'm doing curry with beef and some noodles. I'll get more into it in a second. I don't want to scare any of my single guys or gals out there but like, curry, I can't do that. Yes, you can, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. But before we get into that, I'm just going to chat with Lily for a second. As we all know or may not know, Lily's from Southern California and quite the connoisseur of different, kinds of cuisine. Do you have any favorite places for curry in this town of ours?
As a matter of fact, I love curry. But one question for you, is this an Indian curry or more of like a Thai curry?
I would go somewhere in between, as they share similar, ingredients, if you will, but maybe leaning more towards an Indian curry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love Indian food. I could eat it every day of the week.
Really?
And there's actually a place right down the street from my house called Hurry Curry, right down in Venice. And it's a little sort of a fast food Indian joint, and I used to eat it, at least once a week. Okay. I would walk in and they'd be like getting my plate ready.
Really?
I ate it so frequently. It's delicious, yeah.
Okay.
And their curry there is awesome.
Well, just one word of caution, don't tell everyone exactly where you live, because you already have some pretty intense fans and we don't want them for the future. Somewhere in Venice.
Thanks.
Somewhere in Venice. It's a big place. Great. Well, I'm excited that you actually really like curry because I'm excited to show you guys how to do it. Before we get into it, let me just go through what we do here on Single Chef. As always, guys, we'll be going through a list of our 10 Single Chef ingredients, and this is what everybody has in their, in their fridge or in their pantry. It's Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce. I've got canola oil. Everybody's got a bottle of General hot sauce in their pantry. We got ketchup and mustard. You got to have those. Salt and pepper, garlic powder. Sometimes our mysterious ringer, Thousand Island dressing, which we won't be using tonight because it doesn't really go with curry. Plus what I shop for tonight, guys. This cost me about $10 for 2 people. It's going to feed 2 people. I keep it really simple. I have an onion, garlic. I have a can of coconut milk, some curry powder. We've got a lemon. We've got our beef. This is already cubed up. It's cost me about $4. And some ramen noodles. Traditionally, curry is served with basmati or jasmine rice, but I'm going to show you how to use some ramen noodles to make this an excellent dish as well. So without any further ado, let's get the show on the road. Are you hungry?
Very.
Cool. I'm not that hungry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm starving. Let's do this. So first thing I want to do is I want to start sautéing our onions and garlic, and this will be the base of our curry sauce. And just let me remind all our viewers out there, if you have any questions for us on Single Chef, shoot them over to Lily. She'll ask your questions to me, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. So what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm going to cut, this is a medium-sized onion. I'm going to cut about half of that up. I'm going to take what I've got here, and I'm not going to dice up the onion. I want there to be some big pieces, so all I'm going to do is go half here, and I'm going to go half here, and that's it. And I'm going to throw that, excuse me, into our pan that's already heated up with some oil, and we're going to get that going. While I'm doing that, Lily, have we any questions from our awesome audience?
We do.
Really? Okay, what do we got?
Nurse Sue Barton wants to know.
That sounds like a soap opera name. Nurse Sue Barton.
If I want to make this dish vegetarian, are there what vegetables would you suggest I use instead of meat?
Well, I'm obviously not a vegetarian, as you know by watching the show. You can substitute. I used to work at a restaurant. This is a good question, and I will get to the answer real quick. I used to work at a restaurant in New York called the Vinyl Diner, throwing props out to the Vinyl Diner. It was a great little restaurant. Actually, it's still there in Hell's Kitchen, New York. The reason I bring that up is that they had 3 kinds of curry. They had beef, chicken, and they had tofu curry. So in the tofu curry, I think they had some broccoli you could throw in, maybe some string beans, to give you a few ideas of what you can throw in. So you saute some tofu instead of beef. Do whatever you do with your vegetables, blanch your broccoli, blanch your string beans, throw them in the curry, and then you have a veggie curry. So there you go. I'm taking some garlic cloves, And I'm just putting my knife on top and I'm popping it so I get the skin out, and it makes it really easy to cut with. And I'm not going to put too much garlic in. I'm going to put a couple cloves in. I'm going to chop these up a little bit, and I'm going to throw them in. Now, garlic cooks faster than onion, so they'll you don't want to burn your garlic, so put them in a little after. And I have my pan on a medium flame here, or medium heat, because we're using an electric stove. So we just want to get our onions we want to get them going. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit to get it a little hotter, but not too hot. Because electric ovens, as opposed to gas ovens, you have a little less control over the heat, as I've noticed. I cook on both throughout my life. And with these, you got to monitor the heat because they get really, 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 really hot. Okay, I'm going to chop up some garlic. But good question, Sue. You know what? Whatever vegetables that you prefer, you can throw in your veggie curry. Thanks for asking. Appreciate it. So what are some of your favorite dishes? You were mentioning this hurry curry.
Yeah, well, I'm a huge fan of chicken tikka masala.
Chicken tikka masala?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that has it's a nice tomato-based curry.
Right.
Really awesome. Big fan of like coconut curries also.
Okay, well, we're going to be incorporating the coconut milk in ours tonight.
I like that.
And so, yeah, I mean, you can have a red curry, you can have a green curry, you can have a yellow curry. This is going to be more in the yellow curry. So it's more of a standard curry. But again, guys, I'm going to show you, we're going to start making our sauce here in a second, just how easy this is. But before we get into the curry sauce, let's get our garlic ready. We'll throw in our garlic. And now I'm going to take we have our beef cubes already. It's already cubed up. And I'm just going to put those in and start browning that. And then we'll start building our curry sauce, okay?
Awesome.
Yeah. And how I got, started making this is that, like yourself, I love Indian food. Now, I don't eat it that often, but whenever I do, I'm reminded of just how freaking good it is. It's so good. And obviously, there's a lot of curries, different flavors going on, different kinds of curries you can get at an Indian restaurant. So when I was working at Vinyl Diner, I learned like the basic recipe of what a curry is. And again, I don't have time to buy all these ingredients, nor the money at the time, and the time to spend cooking. So I realized, instead of making your own curry from coriander and turmeric and this, that, and the other thing, just buy some curry powder. Make it really simple. But I've been experimenting with this for a while now, guys, and I'm pretty sure that what I come up here, what I'm going to show you guys is a pretty solid curry that you'll be able to cook at home and impress your friends with, or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever. So let's get our meat brown in there, shall we? And then we're going to start making our curry sauce. Do we have any other questions in the chat room?
Yeah, we do. We have
Awesome.
a few, actually.
What do we got?
Well, one is for you.
One is for me.
Yes, you're an East Coast guy, New York guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, so I have a bunch of cousins from Boston that are watching tonight. Really? Yeah.
What's up, Boston cousins?
And all my family is there. My mom and my sister are there right now.
Okay, I'm just putting a little salt and pepper on the meat. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So my cousin Jake wants to know if you know of any good curry places on the East Coast.
On the East Coast. Well, you can go to the Vinyl Diner in Midtown, New York. That's a good, it's not necessarily an Indian place, but they really have great curry. But I'll tell you what, Jake, I'm not familiar with Indian restaurants per se all over the East Coast. However, in New York City, all you have to do is walk down a street in the West Village, in the East Village, in Midtown, the Upper West Side, anywhere, and you find yourself an Indian restaurant, and I guarantee you're going to have a good dining experience. So, I know Boston and New York people don't always mesh, but we love your little town for cuisine and stuff. We just don't like the Red Sox or the Patriots. Sorry, no offense. However, come to New York, find yourself, just walk around and you'll find yourself a great Indian restaurant. And I'm a Mets fan, so I'm not a Yankees fan, so I actually don't hate Boston that much. All right, I'm just putting a little salt and pepper in my meat just to give it a little flavor. I'm also going to add a little garlic powder, even though we've already put some garlic in there. I'm just going to put a little garlic powder. But how many cousins do you have in Boston?
A lot.
I have a feeling I just offended everyone that might be watching from Boston. I apologize. Let me say this. I'm not a Yankee fan. I don't like the Yankees. I'm a Mets fan. And really, we don't really have a beef. We beat you guys in '86, fair and square. Oh, and the Giants beat you guys in football. I'm sorry. I really like Boston. All right, so I can see that my onions are sweating, as they say. They're starting to cook down. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I have it on a medium heat, and I'm just stirring that up a little bit. Let's start with our curry sauce, okay? So, first, I've got my curry powder here. I don't measure on the Single Chef. I'm not that type of guy. I just kind of do it to feeling. However, let's just start with this. I want a lot of curry sauce in here, so let's just start with, that's about, it's about 1/8 of a cup, if you will, or maybe like 3 fat teaspoons. So we already have our onion and garlic in there. That's part of the mix. We're going to take some of our canola oil, and we're going to match that with canola oil. So we're going to double that. So that's about the same amount canola oil as we did curry powder. I'm going to open up this can of coconut milk. This is light coconut milk. So if you don't want all the calories of regular coconut milk, you could do it light and you'll still get the same kind of flavoring. So let's just put in about that much. I don't want to overwhelm this with coconut milk because before I start cooking with this, I'm going to taste it to make sure it's where it needs to be. So right now I'm just stirring up my curry, my milk, and a little bit of oil. Okay, we got a little ways to go with that. We're going to take some sugar. I have a little bag of sugar here because curry can be sweet too. And I'm not going to make it too sweet, but this, you got to put some sweetener in there. I'm going to put a little bit of sugar. I'm going to use a couple of our Single Chef ingredients too. Whoops. There's a hole in that bag of sugar. And now we're going to feed some mice tonight. All right. I'm going to take a little ketchup. You'll be like, what, dude? Taking a little bit of this ketchup and just going to add it. It's going to give a little sweetness and a little color to it as well. Now I'm going to stir that up and see where we are. We're also going to put a little bit of lemon juice to give it a little bit of citrus flavor as well. So, how simple is that, guys? What have I done? 4 things. A little bit of curry powder, put a little bit more coconut milk, some oil, and some sugar. I'm going to put a little bit more coconut milk in there because I want it to be a little bit creamier. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to ask Lily if we have any more questions from you guys. Cool.
Sunshine Jenny wants to know if you can use regular milk.
You know what, Sunshine Jenny, you actually can. I've done this dish many different times, and I use half and half sometimes. When I don't have coconut milk and I forgot to buy it, I'll just use half and half instead. If I didn't have half and half and I just had some whole milk, I just use that. So absolutely, you could use milk instead of coconut milk. It's going to give it a little bit of a different flavor because coconut milk has a unique, flavoring to it, but no one's going to, the curry police aren't going to come to your house and arrest you for using milk. Cool. So let me give this another test. That's definitely more along the lines of what I'm looking for. I might have put a little bit too much curry powder in, so I'm gonna make up for it by putting a little bit more of everything else in, just to balance it out, because I don't want it to be too curry-y. Because if you put too much curry powder in there, it gets a little strong. But I think we're almost there. And as you notice on camera, let me show you, I threw some ketchup in there. You can barely tell. It's not like it's all red. Traditionally, some curries call for some tomato-based, whether it's chopped tomatoes or whatever. So this is sort of a shortcut using our Single Chef ingredients. Oh, forgot. Hot sauce. Put a little hot sauce in there. If you like it a little spicy. If you don't put it in. But I like things a little spicy. It's the way I live my life. I'm a little spicy guy, a little out there on the edge. All right. One more taste. Lil?
Yeah.
Putting a tiny bit more sugar.
All right.
I'm not going to cook this until it's right.
Great.
It's got to be right.
And what's the number for that curry police?
The number for the curry police? 555-CURY. It's a great question. I love how in movies now everything's like 555. How do you do that with a straight face? Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. So what I have to do here now is I've got some water built up in this thing here. As you can see, that's from the meat. The meat is cooked down, and so we have some water. I want to get rid of some of that liquid. So I'm just going to put a spatula here and just drain it in the sink real quick. And while I'm doing that, like I said, normally, guys, curry is, served with some basmati rice or jasmine rice, and that's great too, but I wanted to change it up a little because a lot of people who are, young people in college or even after college who are single or not single, they've gotten used to using ramen noodles. I'm going to show you how you could use those in a unique way with this curry. All right, so I'm putting it back on the heat. I've drained the water. Now I'm gonna take one more quick taste test for this curry and make sure it's right. All right, let's do this. A little more ketchup. This is how I cook, guys. I gotta make sure, you know, it's to my taste. My taste says it's not quite ready yet. I want a little more sweet, a little more tomato in there, and then I think we'll be ready to rock and roll. I've been washing this spoon, just in case you've been watching. I haven't been double dipping.
Good?
It's ready to go.
Awesome.
So, I'm gonna pour this over our steak, and I'm gonna let this cook now. And that was actually a good amount of curry sauce, because that's gonna cover all our meat, and so when I serve this, we'll have like a little bit of extra juiciness, soupiness to put on our noodles. Let me just stir that up. Yeah, there you go. You got a good shot of that on camera? Yep. There you go, guys. Take a look. So it's kind of like a stew, you know? Curry goes back way BC. You know, like if there was a term like, you know, there's BC before Christ, there's WBC, way before Christ. They've been doing curry, and it's migrated from India to England to obviously Thailand. So there's many variations of curry. I'm happy to be showing you guys how to, you know, take this recipe and do it yourself. And once you get confident with this, then you just kind of experiment with your cooking, like I do. Maybe you want to try more of a red curry. All right, well, you take the basic idea and the basic principles, but you add some other stuff. You add red curry paste, or you add some tomatoes, and you play around with that. So this will give you an idea as to how to. I'm going to put a little bit more lemon juice in there, but this gives you an idea of a base for you guys to feel comfortable to launch into your curry careers. Okay, so we've got our curry cooking. Let me just do a little cleanup here, because we get really messy sometimes here on Single Chef, and tonight I want this to look pretty, because I want to impress Lily.
Good.
Yeah, right? It's about time.
Yeah, I want to be impressed.
I know. It takes me, I'm a slow learner, guys. I'm a late bloomer. Finally realized, you know what? Instead of just slopping the food on there for her, let's make a nice plate for her. Okay. So let me take my ramen noodles. I'm going to drop them in the water. We'll see. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, we do.
Awesome.
We've got one from Righteous Ralph, who says...
Righteous Ralph.
His girlfriend loves the taste of curry, but is really sensitive to the smell.
Sensitive?
So is there anything you can do to tone down the smell so that he can cook it for her? Because he'd like to impress her with some curry.
Febreze? Have you heard of it? Just spray it in the air. Eventually it'll get the smell of curry out. Let me ask you guys a question. Those of us who are in the room right now, is this smelling pretty curryish? Our executive producer, Robin, God bless her, she's covering her nose right now because she's not a big fan of curry. So I'm guessing that answers my question. It does smell a lot like curry in here. If you hear a door slam, that's her leaving to get some fresh air. There's really not much you can do, obviously, unless you have a really good ventilation system, or if you just like plug your girlfriend's nose up. I don't know what to tell you, brother, but you tell me if you figure it out. Okay. Sorry, Rob. All right, so our ramen noodles take about 2-3 minutes. As you can see on camera, our curry is bubbling and cooking up nicely. Our meat is stewing in the curry, and I don't mind that a few pieces of the steak aren't like, you know, fully cooked. They're medium or medium rare. That's fine. It's steak. If you're cooking with chicken, you want to cook that down a little more. You want to make sure your chicken's cooked. But with beef, it's fine. And I'm just going to do a little taste test again, now that it's hot and now that it's cooking and mixing with the steak, and see where we're at with this, because I might need to add some more stuff real quick. Do we have any other questions?
We have one from Garth W.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh.
It's pretty good. It's on point. I'm going to add a little bit more coconut milk. From Garth W.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? What's the question?
Natalie wants to know.
Yeah.
How you could make the sauce thicker.
How it can make it thicker?
Yeah.
There's a natural root called arrowroot, which is odorless. It doesn't taste like anything, but you can add it to any. I'm just watching Robin in the corner of my eye. She's like this. Good show. Good show. Arrowroot. put that, sprinkle that, you know, just a pinch into your whatever gravy you're making, and it'll thicken it up. It's a thickening agent. That's the first thing that comes off the top of my head. I don't know, there may be some other ideas, but that's a good way to go. But with this is going to be thick enough, trust me. Okay, so I'm just giving it a nice stir, and we're almost to the point of the show where we're going to be tasting. So
Cool.
get ready.
I'm very ready.
I'll take one more question if we have it.
Well, one of our viewers wants to know, you know, since you taste your food so much while you're cooking, have you ever tasted it so much that by the time you're done cooking, you're already full?
That's a great question. Yeah, I have actually. I'll be honest with you. There have been times where I've been so hungry while I'm cooking. I'll take so many, like, you know, I'm just taking little sips here right now, but like there's been times where I'm so hungry that I'll like take bites-fuls, and but like a half hour, an hour after cooking, I'm like, you know, I'm kind of full. I'll eat this like in an hour. So yeah, I totally have done that. You must have done that too if you asked that question. So who asked that question?
Frank.
Frank. Is Frank from the East Coast?
I think he is. I think we've asked him before.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
He just sounds like an East Coast name. Frank. I haven't met any Franks out here in the West Coast, and I'm glad I haven't. All right. Ready to rock and roll here?
I like that dance.
You like that little dance?
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here tonight. I think our ramen noodles are ready. Let's pull those out of the flame. Let's drain them. Do I have a strainer? I have a strainer somewhere in this place. Here we go. I'm going to strain these. Ah, that's beautiful. Okay, so here's why I chose ramen noodles, guys, because I bet every one of you guys, or most people out there, guys and girls, have at least one packet of ramen noodles in their closet, so you can use this with the curry dish. So I'm just going to split this up in 2 bowls, one for me and one for Lil. And we're going to obviously put the noodles on the bottom, and then we're going to smother it in some beef curry. Okay, perfect. Check it out, Lil. Come on over.
Yes.
This might be the neatest plating ever on Single Chef.
I'm so hungry.
Are you?
It smells so good.
All right, here we go. Watch yourself. This is coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Yikes.
Okay, so check out that bubbly goodness right there. Curry, guys, in 23 minutes. Actually, we talked for 2 minutes, 21 minutes. All right, so I'm going to put that on top of there, and then I'm going to just ladle. Even though I don't have a ladle, I have a spatula. I'm going to pour some sauce on there. This is going to be.
Oh my God.
This is going to be in the department of piping hot.
Piping.
So maybe you need just a minute, or unless you're brave, you just want to dive in. But here, 1 sec.
Whoa.
So guys, I hope you feel confident now. Watching, having watched that you can actually make a curry that tastes pretty good. Dare I say great. And if you haven't watched the show live, well then you could watch it on a rerun, which you can show for free. You can watch for free on iTunes under podcasts. We are actually, did you know that we're one of the new and noteworthy podcasts on iTunes?
Yeah,
it's pretty
awesome.
cool. We've been up there already for like a month. So we're very excited about that. And you can also find us on Facebook, where the Single Chef on Facebook. You'd be a fan of the show and keep updated. Also, where else? Twitter, @The Single Chef. All the things, all the computer things, right?
That's right.
I'm basically just stalling to make this cool. It's gonna be so hot. But thanks for watching. Here we go. Ready?
All right, cheers. I'm just gonna have some
big ears.
beef with curry because I don't think I can handle.
I got a piece.
more.
Whoops! There goes a piece. That's one for the table. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm gonna have a piece with onion and some
Yeah.
ramen. Okay.
Hold on. No,
Let it all sink in. Let it all sink in.
Oh, that is really good.
Yeah?
I'm very impressed. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad you enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
it's really good.
Right
I
on.
suggest everybody make this at home.
Right on.
Make it for your girlfriend, for yourself.
Let me ask you a question.
Whatever. I mean,
I'll never tell you what I just said to her. All right, listen, guys. Thank you so much for watching the show. I want to thank Robin Roseanne and Michael Davis, our executive producers, for allowing to do The Single Chef. Our director, Matt Edwards, who's just, he's the man. Without him, we couldn't do the show. I always thank Lily, as always. And you guys for watching. We'll be back next week with The Single Chef. Learn how to cook, guys. We don't want to be single forever, right? Thanks a lot.